68 teams earn the right to dance. The goal to get all the way to the Final Four in Dallas. To get to the final, you have to win your first, and that starts right now as we tip it off from Notre Dame. Well, the Bulldogs do win the tip, but they turn it over, so now Illinois in white with the basketball. Take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. First for Illinois, what a boost to get Bryn Shoop-Hill back into the lineup. She's been out the last 4 with injury, and now inside to Carter it goes. Too easy.
I think both teams had a little nerves to start.
Yeah. It is a big stage when you get here. They've been waiting a long time, even though it was a quick turnaround for both of them to get here. Kendall Bostic, another one, number 44, to really keep your eye on for Illinois. She was spending a lot of time on the exercise bike, picked up a injury coming into this tournament. Not sure how long, how much she'll be able to go, but there is Cook, short on that attempt.
And Mississippi State would love to play man most of the night. They kind of split it. They're usually a 60% man team. But Coach Purcell said he'd really like to get as much ball pressure as he can, and we saw that in that last possession.
See the starting lineup there for Mississippi State, and this is a group with 9 transfers, all had to come together this season. Anastasia Hayes goes back inside to Carter, and when she catches the ball down there, coach, it's almost too late.
If you're a point guard, all you have to do is throw it up high. If you don't do that, then you're making a mistake. But if you get it up there, she's going to go get it.
Carter, all SEC second team selection this year for the Bulldogs. So many similarities between these two programs, both finishing tied for 5th in their respective conferences, getting an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Time running short here on the shot clock for Cook. She'll drive with her left. No problem, off the glass and in.
Well, getting penetration, you know, Coach Green talked to us about, they either got to get pain points by touching it in the post or getting their guards into the lane to create open shots, whether it's layups or threes. We'll talk more about their three-point shooting as we go, but they're going to really need that penetration that they just had.
Here's Alana Smith, a player who came over from Louisville, where Sam Purcell's a longtime assistant coach with Jeff Walls.
I think one of the big keys to look for here, and we're seeing it early, is how Illinois handles the pressure on their pick and rolls that Mississippi State will apply. They'll trap some, they'll hedge.
This is Hayes, back to Carter, does have some range, showing it off. 6 points for Carter.
Well, you couldn't ask for a much better start if you're Mississippi State. You get your best player involved on almost every possession.
Genesis Bryant with the basketball now, transfer from NC State. Foul on the floor.
I mean, I know we talked about Jessica Carter at the start, but the 2 guard matchups on both sides I find really, really interesting. What kind of pressure Hayes can put and Smith can put on Cook and Bryant.
Pull-up shot from Adalia McKenzie. Follow-up from Bostic, the 6'2 junior. Second team All Big Ten this season.
I think we have a blood possibility on Carter right now on her elbow.
Just saw our officials pointing over to Carter. So you see Shauna Green, and you mentioned her success at Dayton in her 6 years there, 4 NCAA appearances, and in fact, she was in the first 4 last year with Dayton. We know, we called that game, which they won, by the way. Wound up losing in the first round, and talked to Makira Cook earlier today. She said, I want to go a little further.
Yeah, they said it was a great experience to go through it. They could bring that with them to Illinois, but you can't be satisfied with just getting there. You got to move on. And they said that's kind of what they got them through a lot of the summer too, and a lot of their workouts is, you know, how are we going to be when it's this time of the year?
All right, 6'4 so far. Jessica Carter, who just got bandaged up, has all 6 of Mississippi State's points. This is an undersized Illinois team. Carter at 6'5", flexing the muscle in the paint. Hayes, tough take, and she is fouled by Bryant on her way in.
I don't think Coach Green wanted to see that kind of penetration. They were trying hard to keep the ball out of Carter's hands on the block, but you can't give up that simple penetration, because that post player has a hard time trying to come and help you when they're in a battle, physical battle underneath with Carter.
Hayes on the free throw line, her first point. Led the SEC in assists per game this year, having to play out of position a bit at the point guard spot. And if you know her name, I mean, she's played at Middle Tennessee. She started her career at Tennessee. She was a big-time scorer, one of the top scorers in the country a few years ago. Her scoring numbers down this year, she's taken on a different role.
Well, there again, you have guard penetration by Illinois, causing the foul. You and I were talking on the way over here. Are the fouls going to be an issue tonight? You know, one team, particularly Illinois, they don't have a lot of depth. They don't go very deep. The other part of it is, you know, Mississippi State has had a habit, especially Carter and a couple others, getting in early foul trouble and having to go deeper into the bench. They can do that, but you don't want to be in the bonus, letting other teams shoot before you do.
Drive is blocked by Carter. Nadalia McKenzie may have thought she had a lane, but then the long arm of Jessica Carter.
Well, Carter's a little out of position on this, but recovers so well, and her length just gets her a clean block from behind.
One of the top shot blockers in the SEC this season. That was number 59 on the year, but Bryant good off the inbounds.
Guard penetration and screens. Illinois is a great screen setting team. They have to be to get their shooters open.
Ajahnay Johnson with the basketball now, came on for Alana Smith, who picked up 2 personal fouls already. She had to go to the bench. Hayes, little shot fake. This is a freshman. Debrija Pose had a great year. Carter trying to keep it alive. That's her first miss. It winds up in the hands of Hayes.
It felt like we were in harmony yesterday with both coaches when we said out of our mouths to them, what's the biggest key? And both of them said rebounding right off the start. Don't give up second shots.
And I think it's an area that Illinois probably imagines they will lose the overall battle of the boards, but they have to battle.
And they have to just keep it close enough that there's not those big follow-up shots that break your back. 2 or 3 offensive rebounds at the same time.
All right, back-to-back buckets from Bryant has us even at 8. Jerkayla Jordan, junior transfer from Tulane. Go-to girl, Carter has 8.
They just don't have the size to match up with her on a regular basis. You can just throw it over the top to her.
So what do you do to stop that?
Well, I think you're going to see a little bit more packing it in the lane. I think you're going to see maybe a couple double teams, but you can't throw it over the top. You're going to have to keep her in front of you.
Tough drive from Bryant. Hayes looking for options as she goes down the floor, takes it herself. Cook slowed down just enough. Good start to this one so far. 10-8 Mississippi State leading Illinois in the first 4. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Coach, we were just talking about Mississippi State being able to pass over the top. Talk us through this a little.
Well, you know, in a situation like that, we tell our post players in pick and roll situations, you can't let your person that you're defending get behind you, especially when you don't have a size advantage. Carter's going to have the size advantage and the length to throw it. Try to keep her in front of you. That way you can get some help from your guards or somebody else. But in those situations, you have no help.
Well, Carter 4 for 5 to start this game. The rest of her team 0 for 5. Somebody else is going to have to step up now as she goes to the bench for the first time. And is this an opportunity now for Illinois?
Well, normally you might say yes, but right now, you know, this is a chance for Mississippi State to spread the floor a little bit like they did there. But you just don't have that post presence like you do with Carter.
McKenzie Bostic right there for the putback, but misses it.
I would have said maybe that the influence be more at that end too. There was no shot blocker there, but they missed 2 layups.
I mean, you do have Ramani Parker out there who just knocks down the 3. She's 6'4", another Louisville transfer.
And the biggest cheerleader on the bench for her on that shot was Carter, first one up.
Just 1 3-point attempt so far for this Illinois team that set a program record this year. 225 3-pointers made. It's a new single season record. Cook will launch one on cue.
I think Illinois is going to need Cook to have a huge game tonight. If not just scoring, but making plays for other people. But scoring's really nice.
That does help. And she's certainly capable of it, averaging 18 points per game. That ranked 4th in the Big Ten this season.
Well, right now, basically, between the 2 teams, you have 8 guards on the floor and 2 post players.
Illinois on the run, and McKenzie ties it up again.
Transition. Got to get back. Illinois is going to try to push it, get to the rim, get a 3.
Jordan had such a great month of February for Mississippi State, averaged nearly 17 points per game in that stretch, about 5 over her average. Parker, feeling it from the outside. I mean, she is a 39% 3-point shooter. She's now knocked down 2.
Well, both of their 4s, their post players, both her and Poe, have great range.
Jordan gets called for the reach there, trying to defend Cook, who was just named an AP Honorable Mention All-American earlier today.
Those are the fouls you don't need out at 20 plus feet.
And in the time Carter was on the bench, that lead still intact thanks to Parker, who came in, and even though she came inside as a post player, went outside, knocked down the 3s.
Now they're going to play the 2 of them together for a little bit here.
Cook, so good with the crossover. Yes, hits another. She's got 7.
She just has a confidence about her that I think her last year at Dayton started to give her, and now she's brought it with her to Illinois, and I think it inspires the rest of their team.
McKenzie stops, pops, it's good. First lead for the Illini.
And the game is being played a little bit more like they want to play right now. Penetrate, pick and roll, spread it.
Parker. Back out, Johnson takes. Cook, too much space.
She is feeling it right now. She gets that rhythm dribble into her pull-up. She feels really good about it.
Well, the scouting report on Cook is that when the lights shine bright, she plays big. She's sure starting out that way tonight.
She was really excited to play this game tonight when we talked to her this morning.
Crossover from Johnson is fouled as she goes to the basket.
It's funny, Bostic right there commits a foul. She's trying so hard when she's guarding Jessica Carter to stay out of foul trouble, and it's actually somebody else that gets her foul.
Ajane Johnson going to the free throw line, a grad transfer from St. Bonaventure, was a 2-time All-A-10 selection there.
I think we have a really good chance of seeing a press after these free throws by Mississippi State.
The NCAA Women's Championship continues Friday with first-round games and continues through Sunday, April 2nd, when we crown a champion. Every game is on the ESPN family of networks, and for more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. A little surprise. I was with you, Coach. I thought we would see that press.
Well, it's more of a half-court one into their zone. They'll extend that now eventually when you're least expected. Usually he tries it on one of the first free throw situations that they have.
Cook kept it. Now gets it back from Bryant. She'll unleash the three. Time for Mississippi State to have the last say in the first quarter. They'll look for the three and drain it. What a way to finish our first quarter as Courtney Weber, the Florida State transfer, makes it a 21-19 Mississippi State lead.
Well, the clock is running down. If you push it hard and you run the lanes hard, that cross-court pass to a wide-open three, dagger at the end of the quarter.
Successful goal, defender review.
Got to bring your best, even in the stands when it is March Madness time. What a great first quarter between these two teams in this first four game. It's very tightly contested, as we anticipated, Coach, because when we looked at these two programs, there are really a lot of similarities.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw the bracket come out before we even knew we were doing this game, I said, well, there's an even game. You know, we talked a lot about first and we talked a lot about even. I mean, the records are similar, conference records, the turnarounds, their net is very similar, strength of schedule is one apart. I mean, and now we have a first quarter that's very similar. So hopefully this is the kind of game we're going to have all night.
Oh, I hope so. What a excellent performance to start off this 2023 NCAA Women's Championship. Illinois trying to take advantage, being back in the tournament for the first time since 2003. That's a great look to start quarter number two.
Well, Sam Purcell's not going to be happy because the reason he started in the zone was to take away penetration, and there was nobody between her and the basket.
Genesis Bryant now with 6 for the Illini. Carter was hot early, hands it off this time. She and Parker both out there again, so the big lineup for Mississippi State still on the floor.
And another good job of blocking out and not giving up a second shot.
Bostic, short off the front of the rim. Cook defending Jordan. Under 10 now. Weber, who hit the three at the end of the first quarter.
Another good box out.
And you just wonder how much pain Kendall Bostic is playing through. Junior, as I mentioned earlier, had spent a lot of time on the exercise bike. There was a lot she could not do in practice yesterday with Illinois, having picked up an injury, and that's a foul on Johnson. But these are the games you play for, and on both teams, again with the similarities, the players that we talked to, that we heard from, the message was whether they were with the program the previous year or they transferred in, they wanted something different. They wanted something more.
Yes, very much so. You know, Coach Green was talking about the 5 people that came back in Illinois, and we talked to some of them. They all said, we were so hungry to be coached and play with players who knew how to win.
Cook curls around, just lost the handle, and that'll turn it over to the Bulldogs.
That was a really big, interesting possession there because Jessica Carter was really tempted to reach out and help on that play. And she said, no, I got to be on the court. Let's not get a foul right now.
What did she say to us? We talked to her yesterday. I said, what did you need to do? She said, not foul out, or not foul specifically. Stay on the floor, because as Shauna Green told her Illinois team, Mississippi State is a totally different team when the 6'5" Carter is not on the floor. 7 to shoot. Bulldogs looking for options. Parker travels, so gives it right back. Couple of back-to-back turnovers.
She got enticed by that great lane to the basket. She had room to go, just got sped up a little bit. I think both teams are also going to have a hard time trying to find a balance between how much dribbling you do and how much passing you do. Because they all have guards. Both teams have guards that can penetrate off the dribble quick, but they also need the ball, move the ball off the pass.
Cook, 9 points in the first quarter, adds a couple more. Puts Illinois back out in front. Everybody pointing every which way.
So Makara Cook just reads the defense. She rejects the pick and roll. Carter's not up to it to defend her at the point of the attack, and so she has space to get a little step back pull-up that she loves.
I love what Shauna Green had to say about Makaira. Said she can get a shot off at any time against anyone in the country.
Well, she's really worked at being able to go both directions. A lot of, players at that age, get really strong with, going right or going left. She's gotten really good at going both ways. Now, they're a little bit different. Her pull-up's a little bit different going to her right, but going left, it's a step back, and it creates space for her.
Illinois basketball. Last touch by Mississippi State. First time the last 5 games that Illinois has been able to have Bryn Shoup-Hill out there. She started the game, has missed the last 4. She is a Goshen, Indiana native. Somehow, Peebles tracks us down in the corner for Illinois and keeps it alive. Now Jada Peebles takes a shot off the back iron. Behind the back from Ajane Johnson. And the bucket to boot.
Another good rhythm shooter off the dribble. Both these teams have guards that are pretty good at pulling up in that mid-range area and knocking down shots.
Why not us? That's been the message from Sam Purcell with his team in this NCAA tournament. Tied at 23. Anastasia Hayes playing some tight defense on Genesis Bryant.
Got 6 seconds here to go on the shot clock. They're going to play a zone to keep them out of the penetration. We'll see if it works.
Cook looking for the screen. She'll pull up instead. And then looks back over at Coach Green, a little confusion afterward.
Well, she had to get it off. There was only 1 second on the shot clock, but I don't know that they recognized that the zone was there to switch.
Both of these teams had some time to prepare for this first 4 game as Hayes is foul, losing in their conference tournaments. Illinois lost in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten to Maryland. That was on March 3rd. Mississippi State in the second round of the SEC tournament on March 2nd.
Yeah, that was a big upset for Mississippi State. Texas A&M, with all their young players, had struggled, but Texas A&M was really good that day, and Jessica Carter got in foul trouble early in that game, and it really cost them their momentum. They had a 8 or 9 point lead when she went to the bench with her second foul, and she sat a long time, and Texas A&M got rolling.
Hayes at the free throw line. The Bulldogs were 4 for 4 from the line in the first quarter. No free throws attempted yet in this game for Illinois. And Hayes, an excellent free throw shooter throughout her career. She's 4 for 4 tonight.
Mississippi State back in their zone. It's a 1-1-3 that turns into a 2-3. And occasionally, as Coach Purcell was saying, they'll go back to man on the second or third pass of it.
You talked about their depth potentially being a factor in this game. You just saw 13 points from the Mississippi State bench, none off the bench for Illinois.
Of course, Illinois is not going to have too many players come in the game off the bench.
6 to shoot. McKenzie with the shot clock at 2.
The zone did its job that time.
Carter wants to be closer to the basket. Bostic stood her ground that time.
That's an unnecessary foul right there. Make somebody who's coming in off the bench have to make a shot over the top of you. Don't bail them out with fouls. And when you're not very deep, you cannot get in foul trouble.
Danae Carter on the free throw line now for the Bulldogs. Rims out the first. Sophomore out of Philadelphia. Let's take a look at our bracket tips presented by Nissan. Well, it's good to be on top. Number 1 seed has won 10 straight titles on the women's side, and the top 3 have won all 40 NCAA championships. And get your phone out, get ready, because our tournament challenge is back for ESPN. It's the #1 bracket game. Brackets close. So scan the QR code you see there, download the ESPN Tournament Challenge app, and fill out your brackets.
Better ball movement on that possession by Illinois to get an overload and get a corner three. Made the zone have to move a little bit more.
That was Peebles with the three, the first bench points for Illinois in this game. Ties us back at 26. Already the 5th tie. .26 the score for both teams here. 4:37 to go in the second quarter from Notre Dame.
Kelly Graham, Link, Nikki Fargas, Kelsey Riggs going to be with you coming up on Degree in the studio, breaking down what we've seen from this game. Plus, South Carolina, #1 overall seed. Their depth is so dangerous. Zia Cook is a big part of that. We've got a feature on her. And speaking of dangerous, Jessica Carter is dangerous. What do you like about what you've seen from her?
Well, they decided to establish her very early on in the first quarter. She's got 8 points. The thing that she's done is she's also scored the basketball multiple ways.
There's more than one Cook in this NCAA tournament, too. Makaira Cook for Illinois has been cooking, Kelsey. And we'll see what Coach and Kelly are cooking in the halftime report, guys.
I love that. We'll get back to what's cooking here at Notre Dame, ladies. Thank you so much. Hayes got stuck in the paint, jump ball. It'll stay on this end. And you know, Coach, they were just talking in the studio about Jessica Carter. 8 points for her in this game. All those, though, coming in the first 5 minutes and 9 seconds, none since. But we mentioned what a great story she is. I mean, she has been very open talking about why she did not play last season. She redshirted for mental health issues, and she admitted she battled with depression, was in a really low place. But my goodness, how wonderful to see that young lady out here smiling, enjoying herself, and really making a big impact for her team.
Well, she's owned what she needed to do. She knew she needed to get help, and that's the first thing is, hey, I need help, and take care of it. And then she's just rejoiced with the newfound happiness she has in basketball this year. She said the staff has been great for her coming in. They got to know her. You know, made a great effort in that regard, and she just has kind of got a new lease on her basketball life and her life in general.
Yeah, sure happy to see Jessica back out there. And it was great to hear, too, what Sam Purcell and his staff did, all coming in and making a point to get to know her. He told us earlier today even, he said, you know, we just let her know we care. We're here for whatever you need.
I mean, these are young adults trying to learn to cope with a whole bunch of things in life, probably more than I ever had to cope with when I'm young, as far as, you know, all the outside pressures and everything else that goes with it. And she was delightful to talk to about it yesterday.
Cook coming off the screen.
We didn't talk about just in that last possession, Bostic picking up her second foul. That hurts Illinois.
Yeah, she's had to go to the bench. Kendall Bostic, second team All-Big Ten selection. Giovanna Lopez, number 14, grad transfer, comes on in her place.
And Lopez might be pivotal in this game in how she defends against Carter.
Oh, the back door not open this time around. The defense for Illinois up to it, but then on this end, the bravery of going right in, and Danae Carter doing her best Jessica Carter impression on the block.
Great transition, but getting back and just going straight up, staying vertical, allowing the defender, the offensive player, to come to you.
Hayes reached for it, gives Cook some room. Right on target, just a little short. Mentioned that Jessica Carter has cooled off. Is that more, Coach, what Mississippi State is doing or what Illinois has forced them to do or not do on this end of the floor?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, they're playing a little bit more between her and the basket, but they haven't involved Mississippi State, her on the low block in the last few possessions or in a high ball screen where she gets to roll straight to the rim. She's been more at the elbow playing, and that's not her best spot on the floor.
Defensive win on that possession for Illinois is a shot clock violation, 4th turnover by Mississippi State.
I know that Illinois is used to it, but one of the things for me to look for as we go forward too is, does the depth of Mississippi State start to wear a little bit on Illinois? Playing 8, 9, 10 players versus 6 or 7. That's going to be, a telltale sign here.
6 on the shot clock on this end now. Boy, both defenses working hard, making it difficult to get a good look. And that shot clock violation on both ends.
Well, Illinois has had to fight the shot clock quite a few possessions, especially in the second quarter, between the zone and the man alternating a little bit. I think it's taken them out of their rhythm. And they've paid a lot better, Mississippi State has paid a lot better attention to get up and getting into Cook and not letting her get in that space to get her open pull-up jumper.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a long, long night with Jessica Carter going to work on this end, but both these teams had to have some good defense to get here. They've been showing it off. There goes Carter, kept it high, rolled it in.
And got behind.
McKenzie. She's got 6. Daya McKenzie said, I don't want to go through what I went through last year. I'm grateful to be here, but I'm not satisfied. She wants more. Illini now the chance to retake the lead. We are in South Bend, Indiana. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the 3 seed. They'll be in action on Friday. Part of the Greenville 1 regional, and that's McKenzie again. Back-to-back buckets in the lead for Illinois.
That's a great read. They've knocked down a couple threes. The defense is flying at you full speed. Lift fake, go by, get yourself to the rim, and avoid the offensive foul.
There is nothing like the intensity of the big dance, and these two teams trying to live up to the moment right now. 1-point game. Hayes is fouled as she drives to the basket. All of her points have come from the line so far tonight.
And right now, the biggest disparity in the game is actually the free throw attempts.
Yeah, Illinois still has yet to go to the line, and Mississippi State is 8 for 10 so far. Hayes, a 2,000-point scorer in her career, has 5 now tonight. Well, the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship first round starts tomorrow on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV with coverage beginning at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. For more information on tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com.
It was also pretty interesting that both Mississippi State's men's and women's teams had to play a first 4 game.
Yeah.
And their game last night, Mississippi State lost his heartbreaker, a 1-point game. Had a chance to win it at the buzzer, but a great start to the men's tournament too.
Now the Pitt Panthers hanging on for the win in that one as Cook comes down and is fouled. That's the first foul on Jessica Carter.
And they only have, I think, 4 fouls for the entire game, maybe 5.
Cook trying to work the baseline, actually stepped out. Tierra Cruz, one of our officials for tonight, right there keeping an eye on things. Kevin Pethel, Brian Woods, Keisha Brown, the rest of our crew.
It'll be interesting. I think that, a lot of teams will see if they can get a 2-for-1 here, but I think it's only a 7-second difference. They'll probably hold it and try to just get the first good shot.
No Carter on the floor for Mississippi State. So it'll be somebody else they look to take the shot.
You got about a 7-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
5 to go now. Looking for the 3. Parker's already hit 2.
Well, can they end the quarter like Mississippi State did? Oh.
Yeah, I think Cook maybe just didn't have an idea of how much time was left there. Still 3.3 seconds left. She launched a little too early.
A little too early. Now let's see if you can get up and pressure and not give up an easy shot by Mississippi State.
Bulldogs will look for one final shot, but they won't get it off. No foul, so it is a 1-point game. 6 ties, 6 lead changes. Neither team has led by more than 5. This is what it's all about in the postseason. So that is certainly going to be something to keep an eye on in this second half. The winner moving on, the loser going home. That's what it is all about this time of year. And Mississippi State will start off with the ball and welcome Alana Smith back to the floor.
To the game.
And she goes right inside, same way the game started to Carter.
Well, Boston got up on the top side of her. The guards are too small on the backside to come and help, and they just threw it over the top. It's basically how they started the game.
Alana Smith limited to less than 4 minutes in the first half after she picked up 2 quick fouls for the Bulldogs. That swat from Jerkayla Jordan.
Well, that was great defensive pressure by Jordan on Bryant.
Hayes was looking for Carter. The Illini ready for it. Genesis Bryant had 6. She lost it again. Shaky start to this third quarter for Illinois. Hayes right to the rim.
Nothing Boston could do about that because she had to keep the lob away from Carter.
And Bostic, by the way, playing with 2 fouls. Number 44, the 6'2 junior, really the best size that Illinois has to put on the floor. Adalia McKenzie tried to go over the back of Jessica Carter to make that shot.
That's a big wall to go over.
6'5". And there's another foul that's going to put Mississippi State back on the free throw line. First on Indiana native Bryn Shoup-Hill, back in the starting lineup for Illinois tonight.
She's also been one, as you said earlier, it's been a little bit banged up too. And between her and Bostic, they're just trying to manage, getting to this game. And now they got to play against a 6'5" post player and a 6'4" or 3 post player that go right at you.
Debris Japot, SEC all-freshman team selection this year for Mississippi State on the free throw line. Got 1 to go. That's her first point of the evening. She averages almost 9. Here's Smith.
Offensive rebound, and a killer one on the free throw. I mean, coaches just go crazy when you give up offensive rebounds on free throws.
23-15 rebounding advantage, Mississippi State in the game. Smith too strong, and there is Shoup-Hill on the glass.
Well, Illinois dodged a bullet on that possession because they gave up too many possessions off of offensive rebounds.
6 points, that's the largest lead of the game for either team. Mississippi State did lead by 5, and that's one of those fouls Jessica Carter is going to be frustrated about.
And I don't think you can blame her too much on this one. She does a good job of pressuring, knocks the ball loose, tries to chase it down, and just Cook stands between her and the ball, and she can't stop her momentum.
Well, let's see what Sam Purcell does. He's leaving her out there at the moment. That's a second personal on Carter. She's got 12 points in the game to lead all scorers. Bryant. And Carter had to be careful there.
And I think players, good players that are penetrators, sense when somebody has to back off a little bit.
Really impressive turnarounds for both of these programs under new head coaches this season. Carter now with 14.
And Bostic limping back on that possession.
That was something we were wondering about, how long Kendall Bostic would be able to go, playing through some pain. Has not been able to train fully the last few days as her team got ready for this first 4 game. Picked up an injury after the Big Ten tournament. McKenzie. Smith making her presence felt. Oh, how quick is Mississippi State down the floor?
Right now, Illinois is starting to feel the more intense pressure that Mississippi State has put him on. That's great defense, great pressure on the ball, gets you an opportunity to get out and run, and then a foul on Cook.
Catch me if you can. That's just the first foul on Cook, but it will put Hayes back on the free throw line. She's 6 for 6 so far.
And both teams just have exceptional quickness at the guard position. You know, Hayes and Jordan and Cook and Bryant. Smith from Mississippi State, they all can push it, they all can attack the basket.
First miss from the line tonight for Hayes.
Well, Illinois needs a really good possession here. Move the ball, attack. They're getting caught dribbling a lot of the shot clock away.
Bryant. Well, took her time and then had it blocked.
Guess who?
You know it. Jessica Carter, a force on both ends of the floor. Also an all-defensive team member for the Bulldogs in the SEC. Oh, she runs the floor, too. Doesn't quite finish, but then Hayes going down, making life difficult for Cook. Bryant.
The game is getting a little scattered for Illinois right now.
That's 8-2 advantage Mississippi State this quarter. Make it 10-2 and maybe one more coming. And that's the second foul in pretty quick succession there on Cook.
Well, you have mediocre offense leading to running transition plays for Mississippi State 3 times already this quarter. Great seal in the lane by Poe. Small defender in the circle. Can't do much about it except foul.
Debrija Poe stayed home, is a Mississippi girl from Meridian, Mississippi, went to Meridian High School, one of the top-rated players in the state. Stayed home to go to Mississippi State. And is really helping the Bulldogs to a big third quarter so far, and their first time back in the NCAA tournament since 2019. Shoot Hill.
They're not getting the looks they want. Those are rush shots.
Maybe Romani Parker and that pass a little rushed as she goes down the floor. You can't blame the Bulldogs for trying, though. They've done well.
Yeah, and they've got Illinois on their heels right now. You know, they took Carter out. Parker comes back in. They got more pressure on the ball everywhere else. Full court man pressure here. They're just making Illinois have to work for everything.
Mississippi State program not that long removed from those 2 appearances in the championship game 2017 and 2018 against, oh, by the way, team whose floor they're playing on right now, Notre Dame. But since that time, 4 different head coaches in the last 4 years as they've tried to get things right.
We're going to get free throws for Illinois, folks.
First ones of the night, and who else but Makaira Cook will go to the free throw line for Illinois. Romani Parker committing the foul.
A bunch of sarcastic cheers here from the Illinois fans, too.
It's been a frustrating start to the quarter for the Illini. 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes and change. Illinois 0 for their last 4.
Well, unlike the clips we showed to start the quarter where the Illini got to the rim, they haven't been able to get there without a body in front of them, and have had a couple shots blocked.
Well, Cook won't mind getting some points from the free throw line. She's an 88% free throw shooter on the season.
And Illinois going very small right now. McKenzie has now become the power forward on the team.
Now Bostic is out there along with McKenzie. Jada Peebles has come back on for Illinois. She hit a 3 in the first half. Jordan, remember that Cook has 2 fouls. Trying to defend Jordan here. She goes down, offensive foul.
Again, on both teams, we're having a ton of penetration here. Now you see Hayes put her head down, sticks her arm out. I'm not sure, did they call it on Hayes or the post player setting the screen?
That's what I was just wondering, watching that replay. It was indeed on the screen on Parker. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. Illinois trying to get things right. Mississippi State in the lead. Some interested observers here at Notre Dame. That would be the Fighting Irish, the ACC regular season champs, a 3 seed hosting here at this site. They will await their first game, taking on Southern Utah, the Thunderbirds, 3:30 on Friday afternoon. The Creighton Blue Jays also in the house, a 6 seed. Vested interest for sure in
they're
this
the most
particular
interested
game.
in this one, yes.
As they'll take on the winner of this first 4 game between Illinois and Mississippi State.
Well, we saw both teams practice about 1,000 baseline out of bounds plays. So here's what we'll see coming out of this. It's kind of more in the corner, but this is a chance for a coach to draw something up. And Mississippi State goes in a zone.
13 points in the game for Makaira Cook. The Dayton transfer who followed her coach, lost the basketball. Jordan to the basket is good.
And they're back in the same zone. It's a 1-1-3.
Illinois now down double digits. But interestingly, as they play here on Notre Dame's court, you just saw the Fighting Irish in the house taken in this game. Peebles too strong on the 3. This Illinois team really felt they had something in a dark scrimmage back in October when they took on Notre Dame on their home floor, were down 17 and beat them. Now, I know that's a scrimmage. Doesn't count in the record, but it counts a lot in confidence when you're a new team trying to get the pieces together.
And I think they would have felt that confidence, win or lose in a scrimmage, just because, you know, coming off the season they had had.
Yeah, it's just incredible. I mean, think about Illinois last year. 7-20 overall, 1-13 in the Big Ten. Quite a turnaround. In fact, the best in program history as Shauna Green took things over this year for the Illini.
Great pass.
Yeah, that's just beautiful passing, and timeout called by Illinois. Shauna Green has seen enough. 17-4. It has been all Mississippi State in the third quarter. They lead by 14. Mississippi State shooting at 70% this quarter.
They've been disruptive. They've gotten out of passing lanes. They've gotten their hands on the ball, deflections. They've had forced 3 turnovers and they've scored on all of them. Here's a perfect one out of their zone. Overplay the reversal pass and get a layup out of it. That's a quick way to turn around and shoot 70% in a quarter when you get layups.
Yeah, get those high percentage looks, and the Bulldogs taking advantage, trying to advance, take on the Creighton Blue Jays on Friday night. Does Illinois still have something more to say in this one, though? Team so excited to get back to this big stage for the first time in 20 years, Illinois in the NCAA tournament.
Well, a lot of switching on this possession by Mississippi State just to keep the ball in front of them. They've done a really good job. Carter has jumped out to show.
Well, when in doubt, drive and get fouled, as Genesis Bryant just dribbled in circles until she got what she wanted there and was fouled by Alana Smith. That's her third. She was really limited for Mississippi State in the first half with 2 quick fouls. And it looks like she will indeed go back to the bench now. 14-point lead, though, for the Bulldogs, their largest of the game.
Well, Poe tried to help her out by raising her hand for the officials to get the foul call, but they weren't buying it.
I appreciate the effort, though. It's good teamwork.
It's a pro move. I like that.
Bryant has had a great year in her first year with Illinois. came over from NC State. Has 10 points in the game tonight, trying to help the Illini back into it. Jump ball as Carter brought it down. That allowed the guards to get their hands on the basketball.
Good post coaches always tell their players, don't bring it to where the little people are.
Lopez back in the game for Illinois. She had her fingertips on the ball, couldn't grab the rebound. Here comes Hayes. And now it is Illinois on the run. Adalia McKenzie back to Cook for three.
Well, we'll get a little bit of a track meet now.
Who does that benefit?
Well, right now, this quarter, it's benefited Mississippi State because they've kind of had that extra person when they get down there. If there's nothing good, they can swing it and get a nice post up.
On Illinois, which plays with a very short bench anyway, also limited neither of their starting post players, Bostic or Shoup Hill, on the floor at the moment. They were both struggling. They've had some injuries they've been dealing with. 2 on the shot clock here. Weber had to take it. She had a buzzer-beating 3 to end the first quarter for Mississippi State. Cook weaving through traffic, everything but the finish. Gotta put those away. She knows it.
They've missed a couple of those opportunities. Got to make layups. It sounds simple, but you got to make layups.
Illinois 1 for 11 this quarter, and that is money in the bank.
Well, that's another pass over the top. You get caught on the high side, and you don't have a way to defend it. There's nobody behind you that can help you.
16 points now for Carter.
Here's Carter walking her defender up the lane. There's no help there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's way too easy, and Jessica Carter lives for that. I mean, that's one of their first post drills they do in practice every day, is working on passes from the wing or the high post over the top into the lane.
Well, I mean, and you've got, as I just said, the 2 starting post players, those with most experience. They're still shorter, but at least they've been playing that way all season long. Experience going up against bigger post players in the Big Ten. Neither of them on the floor. Bostic and Shoup Hill. And then it is good luck coming off the bench trying to defend 6'5" Jessica Carter.
It really is. You're just not playing with enough ammunition when you're doing that.
There is Bostic. Saw her back behind the bench a few moments ago on that bike again, just trying to keep loose. It's got to be tough for her. Junior, she started her career at Michigan State, but this is her 2nd year with Illinois. And wants so badly to be out there helping her team. Talked at the press conference yesterday what this opportunity meant to her. You can only do what your body will allow you to do.
Illinois has had a really hard time just getting into the first pass in their offense. You know, Mississippi State's playing on the top side of everybody, forcing, catches out farther. I mean, that's a good defensive progress from first half to second half to make it tougher. And finally, we got a bonus situation here.
Yeah. Bryant on the free throw line. That was the 5th team foul by the Bulldogs this quarter. Genesis Bryant, 2nd team All-Big Ten this year with the Illini. Perfect for both attempts. She's in double digits with 10. No, 12, excuse me. Danae Carter on the floor for Mississippi State. Hayes, tough take. Carter there to clean it up. Lopez finally pulls it down for Illinois. The junior college transfer may have to play some big minutes tonight for Illinois inside, and Lopez. And Bryant just says, I want to go back to the line. A little too much, though. She's called for the foul. That is her 3rd personal.
I know they wanted to try to drive at Carter, but Carter, she told us yesterday, she really relishes now taking some charges. Everybody's known that she's been a great shot blocker, but she said in order to stay out of foul trouble, she had to learn on some possessions to stay on the ground. And she said she loves when her teammates get all hyped up for her taking a charge.
Yeah, I asked her what she liked better, and she admitted. She said she's got to go with the charge because her team loves it so much.
Yep. She had her whole hype crew over here on the bench, you know, ready to go when she laid out on that one.
I think after that timeout midway through the quarter, the defensive intensity's picked up a bit for Illinois. The shot's not coming quite so easy for Mississippi State,
Right.
but still this quarter, they've been getting what they want for the most part. Weber around and out. She gets it right back. Nobody boxed her out.
Everybody turned and assumed their teammate had the ball.
Once again, the deficit at 14 points for Illinois. They've got 10 minutes to go to try to catch up.
Well, when you can get in the lane, this is a great pass from Carter to Jordan behind the defense. And now you have Carter get a little spin, left-hand hook over the front of the rim. Mississippi State rolling.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Is it a big-time game-winning shot? Some clutch moments in this NCAA tournament. Mississippi State remembers that one well from Arike Ogunbowale in Notre Dame. But now the Bulldogs under new management, and I mentioned this briefly earlier. 4 different head coaches over the last 4 seasons for Mississippi State. There's only one other team in D1 that can make that claim. That's Detroit. So give Sam Purcell an awful lot of credit for taking over and maybe not only getting this program stabilized, but on the rise.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he has incredible Final Four experience with Louisville. And, you know, I think that has served him well to understand the kind of players you need to get to that level and the little details you need to do to play at tournament time. And they've come well prepared today. Not that Illinois hasn't, but Mississippi State has executed their game plan really well today.
Makaira Cook trying to light a fire for Illinois, driving to the basket. So she'll be on the line. Poe committing the foul for Mississippi State. .13 points in the game for Cook. She averages 18.2. That ranked 4th in the Big Ten this season.
I'm not used to her missing a free throw.
Neither is she. 80 for 91 coming into this game. Shoots a very good percentage. A player who followed her head coach, Shauna Green. Didn't take her long to decide. And as Shauna Green says, she is just the most loyal person that you'll ever meet. And she knew she wanted to stay with her head coach. She believed in her, believed in what she was going to do, and brought her talents to Illinois.
And Illinois coming in with a little press of their own right now.
Well, they need to change some things, right?
Yes,
they need
they
to
do.
change the way this game has gone since halftime. It has really been heavily in favor of Mississippi State.
And if they could knock down a couple of the shots they did early, this game could change in a hurry.
Bostic got a little help defensively there. Jada Peebles came over, committed the foul, though, on Carter. And Bostic just as quickly back off. She tried to get back out there, but you can see how labored her gait is coming off the floor.
This is probably the weaker part of Carter's game right here at the free throw line. She's 60% free throw shooter. And that's one of the things she knows she needs to get better at. It's a little nice roll.
Of course, she has some eligibility left. Could come back next year.
Yeah, there's a lot of those players out there. It's making it difficult for people in my job.
I know. Yeah, you retire from coaching, but obviously you're still very involved and wanting to know what's going on. GM role keeps you busy doing that. 18 points for Carter.
Yeah, the number of people that have another year of eligibility that they can use if they want to is a huge number.
Will they, won't they? Will she, won't she is one of the big questions at this site, by the way. As Bryant, her 3 is too strong. Will we see Olivia Miles for Notre Dame? I think that's one of the biggest questions amongst the higher seeded teams in this tournament. The electric point guard has been out since the regular season finale. The Irish will take the floor for the first time on Friday afternoon. One of these teams will be playing on Friday as well, taking on the Creighton Blue Jays. Poe, the freshman, starting to feel it.
I mean, I know the play was for her to reverse the ball back and get Carter post up, but she saw a lane, and she's aggressive enough to take it.
Gotta go. McKenzie looked to dish off. Cook, ever more riding on her shoulders with Bostic on the bench. Haven't seen much of Shoop Hill this half either for Illinois. A regular starter. Weber in the corner.
You know, it's funny, when I watched shoot around this morning, I wondered, is she going to make the big three for them today? She shoots a ton of them. She doesn't play a ton, but when she comes in, she does have the green light.
And Courtney Weber, a player who Sam Purcell told us, look, I recruited her when I was at Louisville. She said no. She went to Florida State. He said, you're not going to say no again. He went after her again when her name popped up in the portal, and here she is in her last year of eligibility, trying to make a run with the Bulldogs. Cook. No look. Peebles, come on, make it count. She does.
They're going to need a few more of those to get themselves going here. But it's going to have to start on the defensive end here. Here comes a trap.
And they get, let's see, was a timeout called? It was.
Sam Purcell on the dead sprint for half court to get a timeout called.
Well, Illinois trying to make a push, but it is Mississippi State out in front. Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. The big difference maker in the middle for the Bulldogs, Jessica Carter.
Well, she's got the size to throw it up to her. As we've mentioned several times, she's gotten behind the defense where the small guards can't help. She's active around the rim, and she's been able to score off of both hands. Nice little left-hand hook, showing her full repertoire around the basket. And she's been very stellar defensively. You know, not huge numbers, but Illinois' offense knows she's there in the lane. They're aware of it.
Had a few blocks, taken at least one charge that I remember as well.
And despite anything else, the game was invented to put the ball in the basket, and Illinois is 2 for 17 in this half.
Yeah, just have really struggled offensively, the Illini. This will be a foul against Mississippi State.
Moving screen.
Yep, Danae Carter.
I think that Carter's got 2 fouls, and they're both on moving screens.
Gotta clean that up a little bit. Sophomore for the Bulldogs. Her team trying to get through, take on Creighton. But Illinois showing some fight.
Well-designed play to get Bryan a shot. Now the press is back on. Can they get a turnover? Can they force Mississippi State to speed up more than they want to?
Hermione Parker hit a couple of big threes off the bench in the first half. This time it's the putback that's good. Jacayla Jordan.
And Illinois got basically Mississippi State to take the shot they wanted to take, a hurried three, but they didn't keep anybody off the boards.
Yeah, it's a big rebounding advantage, plus 14 for Mississippi State in the game on the glass as Cook has her first field goal in the second half.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, as soon as Carter checks out of the game, there's a lot more freedom to attack the basket.
This is Danae Carter. Lopez trying to stand her ground defensively. And I'm not quite sure Illinois knew who that pass was to. Jordan says, I'll take it all the way for 2. That's 6 points this quarter for Jordan.
And she's had most of those come because of turnovers, of steals that she's gotten or teammates gotten.
12th NCAA appearance for Mississippi State tonight. Team that tied for 5th in the SEC in the regular season. One of 7 SEC teams in this NCAA tournament. Bryant, 2 more big points. She has 18. Illini now 4 of their last 4. They finally have started to make some baskets.
And they normally can't press like this with their lack of depth, but they're in desperation mode now. They've got to get something different to get Mississippi State out of the rhythm that they have gotten into. I'll be interested to see if they put Carter back in the game for Mississippi State, or Coach Purcell just lets it play out a little bit here. You always wonder as a coach, okay, what's our point that we turn and we put somebody back in?
Last thing you want to do is let the other team gain momentum. And as Illinois tries to do just that, Carter comes to the table ready to check in. It is an and one chance. And boy, Mykaira Cook is in that huddle on the floor, just firing up her teammates. Tell them it's go time now. Started to get on a little bit of a roll here.
Well, Mississippi State's got all their best ball handlers, 4 guards in with Carter to play against the press. Let's see if they do a better job than they have the last couple possessions.
No luck on the roll for Adalia McKenzie. Steal, Cook, easy 2.
How long does Sam Purcell wait for a timeout here?
He looks up and ready over there. He's going to see what his team can do here as the pressure is on from Illinois. Looking to create another turnover. .6-0 run by Illinois. They've made 6 of their last 7. There's a foul before Carter even has a chance to get the shot off. Maybe not a bad thing, really.
Not a bad thing. Lopez was in a tough position, kind of one-on-one without a lot of help around her. Better to foul then than what in the middle of a shot given an and-one situation.
And just the second team foul on the Illini. Mississippi State with 3 fouls in this quarter. Hayes with her left. The put back from Jordan, no. Carter on the glass.
They just stick with it.
20 now for Jessica Carter. Her 6th 20-point game of the year. Bryn Shuphill on the floor for Illinois. And all Carter had to do at 6'5" on that rebound was just stick her arms up and grab it. She did.
Good patience. Use some clock here.
Carter. Seems like Jerkayla Jordan has been flying around on the offensive glass this 4th quarter in particular. Couldn't get the putback that time. Now she's back defending Bryant.
Well, Cook's got to find a good shot for herself or a teammate off this pick and roll.
She's going to take it herself, and the shot blocker, you best believe, affected that shot. Jessica Carter in the paint. Well, the NCAA Championship Final Four weekend starts March 31st. With the Final Four, that'll continue through Sunday, April 2nd, when we crown a champion. Every game is on the ESPN family of networks. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. All roads leading to Texas, both the men's and women's tournaments will have their Final Four in Texas. Women going to Dallas. Carter left open, that can't happen.
I mean, Illinois subbed to get more size against Carter, and it didn't matter.
And there's Aisha Nador, junior college transfer. Just lost her mark. She's 6'6", but there's a big smile on the face of Jessica Carter. That tells you about how her night's going. Boy, Peebles nearly had it, and it is just about maintaining control here for Mississippi State. Illinois went on a little bit of a run, but now it feels like the Bulldogs have things back where they want them.
You just take care of the basketball. There aren't enough possessions left for Mississippi State, but you can't have those kind of situations.
It will be Illinois ball.
mean, that was another situation where Mississippi State could have used a little bit more clock, swung the ball.
You know, yesterday, Shauna Green in Illinois in the press conference was asked about the potential of what she can build, knowing that a lot of her group can come back, that this is just the first. She talked about everything for them this year is the first because they're doing it together for the first time. And she said, yeah, I am excited about the future, but I'm also excited about right now.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you get caught as a coach. Everybody's talked about, wow, you guys have done a great job. Look where you were a year ago and look where you got to now. But when you're in the moment, you don't want to talk about, you know, like 10 months from now. You want to talk about what this team can do, and it's a special time. There's nothing like playing in the tournament.
But what a performance this season for Illinois and Shauna Green to build off of. We can look forward.
Yeah. And I think she feels like she's got a good recruiting class coming. They can get healthier. They have returning players. There's the famous transfer portal going on now, so, you know.
Famous transfer portal. Infamous by some. Yeah. And it's certainly things looking up, although situation more dire in the immediate future at the moment for this Illinois team. 4 team fouls. So the next one would put Mississippi State on the line, but as you said a few moments ago, just not enough possessions left in the game, and up to Anastasia Hayes and Mississippi State try to keep their cool, keep the ball. Winds up being a shot clock violation after all that chaos. But see about the possession.
We have a discussion here with the officials about whether they had possession on the floor with the ball or not. They're saying no, they're going to give the ball to Illinois.
What a job in his first year, Sam Purcell, as a
all-out
head
scramble.
coach.
This is when you're down 16 points and you're still giving it your best shot, getting on the floor. Yeah, I would have argued, just like Sam Purcell did, she did have possession. She had 2 hands on it and made a pass, but they're saying they called the held ball before that.
Well, now the official over at the table, Kevin Pethel, talking to everybody over there, making sure they're all on the same page.
They have the alternate official there, Keisha Brown, who played in the WNBA at one time. Got into the officiating program a while back. And has gotten better every year to get herself into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's quite an honor and accomplishment for all these officials, too, to make it here to this stage. Not quite yet. Minute 10 to go, and in the end it really doesn't matter, but of course you need to get it right. Mississippi State, 16-point lead.
I'm just waiting for one of them to come over here and tell us what's going on.
Well, the end of the road closing in on us. Eventually, we'll get there. These Illinois players, the journey will continue for most of them. Moving on next year, can be proud of what they built this year. This school record turnaround for the Illini after such a difficult few years, really. But last year, just 7 wins, 22 wins this year. Plenty to be proud of, although a player like Giovanna Lopez, grad transfer, in her 2nd year with the program. Last time she will put on that Illinois uniform. And she's had to play some big minutes tonight with the injuries inside for the Illini, and that has absolutely played a part in the storyline as well.
A good possession there, got a wide open shot, he just didn't knock it down. It's kind of been the story of the second half for Illinois. And now we have some other review. I don't know, I think this is about who it went off of. The review is on the possession on the end line between Lopez and
the out of bounds is under review. The call on the floor is possession to Mississippi State.
Well, there you go. Well, you are allowed the officials to look at that in the last 2 minutes of the game, so they will, just to make sure they get it right.
And I'm usually a really good replay. I'm really a good official from over here. I do think it may have touched Carter on at the very end of it. Let's see if her right hand touches the ball here. I don't know if there's going to be enough to turn it or overturn it. Got a lot of angles here, though.
Well, they're needing a little extra time too, Coach, so don't feel bad. You can still keep your good official title over here. It was hard to see.
After review, the play on the floor, call stands. Mississippi State ball.
You're even a better official on your couch.
Oh, my couch, I'm really good.
We all are, aren't we? We're all really good there. Well, Mississippi State's been really good tonight. Yes, I'll take that segue and run with it. There's a timeout now on the floor.
Mississippi State called timeout. I think they want to advance it just to stay away from being pressed.
What has impressed you with what the Bulldogs have done tonight?
I think the first thing is they stuck to a game plan on both ends of the court. They wanted a combination on offense of Carter touching the ball, some pick and rolls, being able to swing the ball and get guard penetration. I think they've gotten all of that, but I think the bigger emphasis was the defensive end, trying to put pressure on the ball for Illinois, trying to make them feel uncomfortable, and I think that's been better done in the second half than the first half. They came out a little bit more renewed in their ball pressure at the start of the third quarter, and it's paid off.
Mississippi State eyeing a matchup with Creighton, one of the great stories of the tournament last year. Creighton Blue Jays were a 10 seed, went all the way to the Elite Eight. They have their highest seeding ever now in program history at 6, and they've never met the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Makira Cook has had just a tremendous run, both in her time at Dayton and then now in her first year with Illinois. 18 points tonight.
The tank is about empty, though.
Yeah.
No legs to shoot that three.
Well, as we look ahead, want to remind you that Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi are headed to Dallas, and they'll bring their insight, experience, and yes, humor along with them. The Bird and Taurasi Show at the Final Four, Friday, March 31st and Sunday, April 2nd. That will be live on ESPN2 and ESPN+.
And that's kind of how they talk day to day to each other, too.
That's what makes it great, right? I hope this guy brings those big Hulk hands and face paint and feels good about what he did for his team today.
Yeah, this is, this was a really, really even game until about mid-third quarter or a little bit in the third quarter, and then it wasn't quickly. The turnovers on the pressure gave Mississippi State that little run right in the middle of the third quarter, and they got layups in transition, and the game changed.
Jessica Carter, big night for Mississippi State. Her comeback will take at least one more step forward for the Bulldogs. And Bryant not giving up on anything. Commits the foul on the play, though. And that is her 5th, so she will have to make an early exit.
And it's I think it's the 15th foul, too. Am I wrong?
You are correct. And the crowd giving a hand to Bryant, who's, as I mentioned earlier, second team Big Ten recognition this year, joining the Illini. 17 points tonight, transfer from NC State.
She's had a big impact on their program this year. Obviously, an all Big Ten performer. she and Makira Cook have just given them the engine that they've needed to have this unbelievable turnaround. I mean, to think the team won 1 game last year in the Big Ten, and here they are in the NCAA tournament.
Ajane Johnson, grad transfer, spent 4 years at St. Bonaventure, now dancing with the Bulldogs under their first-year rookie head coach, Sam Purcell. Not only is he a first-year head coach, it's his first year as a head coach after all those years as an assistant. So used to seeing him along that sideline with Jeff Walls in Louisville. As you mentioned, great experience.
Yeah, really good recruiter too. He's got just a personality, a way about him that, he's like an energy. He's like Red Bull walking in the door when you get up in the morning.
No doubt. We appreciated that at shoot-around even today. Well, that and the boombox. I really enjoyed the Mississippi State boombox too.
Yeah, I asked him why he needs coffee, because I saw him yesterday morning when he first got up.
He was already raring to go, I have no doubt.
Yep.
Was talking to his team, Sam Purcell, as they got ready for this first 4 matchup, and maybe they felt they were a little underseeded and didn't deserve to have to play in the first 4, but they're here, and at that point he said, why not us? Why not us? Moving on.
He reiterated that to them again this morning. Let's just go give everything we have and let it all hang out.
Speaking of giving it all, that is 8 points this quarter for Cook, 21 in the game, but the victory goes to Mississippi State. The Bulldogs victorious and headed for a date with Creighton on Friday.
That should be a great matchup. We've seen what Creighton's done in the tournament with some upsets. They let it fly. You talk about teams that like to shoot a 3. Creighton will be a great match. Coach Flannery does a great job, and they'll be ready to go.
You're talking a little maybe inside-outside look there then with Creighton, who makes 9.4 threes per game. That ranks 4th in the country, and this inside game of Jessica Carter and Mississippi State.
Well, Mississippi State has earned this chance on Friday night. When you come to practices and shoot-arounds like we do, you kind of always get interested. What teams, what players can carry over what the game plan is from the day before to the day of the game. And Mississippi State did a really good job of that today.